Eddie Belfour getting a start once again. What else is new? His 48th appearance. 30 wins, 2.41 goals against average. One of 3 goaltenders in Blackhawk history to achieve the 30-goal, 30-win milestone. And Troy Gamble, who was brilliant in the last performance against the Blackhawks, and then had to leave the game with an injury, and then Kirk McLean filled in and did just as good a job as the rookie Troy Gamble, who played in his 29th game tonight.
Don Koharski is the referee for this one. The linesmen are Randy Mitz and Gerard Gauthier. Murray, Graham, and Gilbert open up for Chicago. Igor Larionov out there for the Canucks with Gary Valk and Jay Mazer. And Valk had a pretty good game the last time the Hawks were here. Here's the draw dumped into the Canucks zone. Now back to the Vancouver net. Nordmark hammers the pass up into the crowd. And so the whistle sounds. Bob McCammon under some fire here in Vancouver as the Canucks, we mentioned, trying to hang on to the last playoff spot. They're tied with Winnipeg at 42 points, and the Canucks have 2 games in hand at Mike Keenan's Blackhawks with the best road record in the league. 15 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties, including the last 5 in a row undefeated away from home. 4 wins and a tie for Chicago in their last 5 on the road. Here's Nordmark off the draw, clearing it out to the Chicago line. Dave Manson gave it to Greg Gilbert with a nice pass, and his speed attempt is broken up. And an offside call made against the Blackhawks.
Well, the key for the Blackhawks, get off to a good start, frustrate the Canucks, get on them, play in their zone. They'll get these fans on the Canucks. They'll get on them. They'll turn on them early. They'll start to boo in a hurry. This team has only won twice since December 23rd. 11-1 since that time. I don't think the confidence level of this club is at its highest. Obviously, these fans have a tendency over the years to be quite critical and very impatient.
I believe that is the voice of experience speaking, is it not?
That's right.
They've had a great attendance record here in Vancouver this year. They've averaged just over 15,000 a game, and that's very strong considering what they've been watching. The Canucks are a game under 500 here at home. Here's Chelios deep in his own end. Chris Chelios looking for Goulet. The pass deflected, and Yanni then carried on. Failed to get it in, though, and Jim Sandlak turns back for the Canucks. So Linden over the line. Trevor Linden spinning to the far side. Threw it across to the near board. Here's a long shot. And a save by Belfour on Kerbers. Kerbers has it again. His shot. Belfour stops that. Rebound. Cron. And a save by Belfour. And 3 pretty good chances and 1 great one for the Canucks in that sequence. Now, there's Chelios trying a long breakaway pass to Larmer, but it deflects off Crown and into the seats. And then Belfour gets the early wake-up call here in the Pacific Coliseum.
The goaltender loves to get work early, make a couple of key saves, and he made a brilliant save in the game against Toronto on Saturday night. The first save was a terrific one on Wendell Clark. Makes a good save on Kerbers after a feed from Linden. Then the puck back by Sandlak to Kerbers. Kerbers 2 shots and Cron. And Chuck Slovakian rookie on the back end. That was a better save as Belfour deflected it away with the blocker. Great road record this year for Ed Belfour. In the last 5, an unbelievable 1.18 goals against average.
There's Doug Wilson to dump it into the Canucks zone. Coming around to the near side. Murray to the corner. Gets surrounded by 2 Canucks there. And now Peter Nedved, the rookie Czech, clearing it out to center ice, where Greg Adams shoots it in. Taken by Wilson. Wilson to Bob McGill, whose pass is broken up and came right back to it. He chipped it to the Vancouver zone. Garth Butcher there for the Canucks. Butcher knocked down by Grant. And now Murray gets slipped to the ice, and here come the Canucks. Ronnie Stern over the Hawk line. Had to send it around the board. McGill bumped behind the net, then Gilbert fired it to the near side, and Creighton deflected to center, where Grant stepped over the Canuck line. Graham in on a forward mill to his backhand, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Graham now gets a rough ride from Lume to the far corner. It's cleared to the line. Manson keeping it in. A long slip shot is blocked. And Nordmark cleared it to center ice. And the Hawks then put it in offside on the play. Early in the hockey game, there's no score in Vancouver. Out there with Presley and Thomas as the Hawks hope to get this line untracked offensively during this road trip. In the first Hawk road trip, when the Hawks went 5-1, this might have been the best line overall that they had. So maybe history can repeat on this 6-game swing. Here's the play in the Canucks zone. Straight bumped on the near side, and Sale is handed loose. Taken by Gerald Diddick. He rolled it to center. Bouncing around to Presley. He got it over the Vancouver line. Rolled it in behind the net. And that'll be a penalty. And not much doubt about that. Down Koharski. Point at Adam Creighton, who will have a seat. The Canucks get the game's first power play with no score.
Vancouver Canucks will get the first power play. Adam Creighton, his Hawkeye stands still in a forechecking roll, and he goes to the box. Time of the penalty, 3:02. And the Canucks with the man advantage, 42 goals and 253 chances, the Canucks. Blackhawks penalty killing on the road. They've allowed 16 goals against in 133 times short on the road.
Wow. I'm not sure there's any team that could match that in terms of road penalty killing. Here's Doug Lidster now, dumping it into the Chicago zone. Belfour fires it up the near side. Held in by Lidster, then Graham jammed it loose but couldn't clear it. Linden in the deep slot. Trevor Linden, center one. Here's Cron. Peels off into the far corner. Cron still hanging on to it. Put it out to the line. Curvers, his long shot doesn't get through. And came back to him at the far point. Tom Curvers up the board to Linden. Near point to Lidster. His shot. Hit a save by Belfour. Rebounded Chelios and he clears.
Excellent save by Belfour. I wasn't sure he saw it till the last minute. Kicked as far right possible and still got the pad on.
Now in the Hawk zone. Lidster unable to keep it in. And Curvers has to go back into his own end. Tom Curvers. There's it to center. Greg Adams forced to dump it in. Belfour wanders to the corner, sweeps it around the boards. Gilbert has plenty of time. He takes a look and clears. 40 seconds left on the Vancouver power play. Now Lume cleared it to center. And Adams unable to get to the loose puck. Larmer flipped it to the Canuck line, and Jyrke Lume plays it again. Got it to Adams. Greg Adams into the Hawk zone, surrounded, unable to advance it. And it's cleared back to the neutral area. Now Lume steps into the Chicago zone. Hansen stopped in there with help from Larmer. And it's cleared back to center. Now Nordmark gets the line, shoots one up over the crossbar, and he fired it just as the whistle sounded for an offside violation.
Greg Adams, every other year he has a good year. The even number of years are good years for him. 35 goals in 86 in New Jersey, 36 goals in 88 with Vancouver, and 30 goals last year in 90. And in between he had 20 and 19 goals. He was injured most of the beginning of this year and has 13 goals in only 39 games.
Just 5 seconds left on Creighton's penalty. And here's the draw. Garth Butcher shoots it in. Taken by McGill. Got help from Wilson. Now the Hawk penalty over. Both teams back at full strength. As Presley got it to the Canuck line. Now here's Thomas hustling. Gets knocked down, attempting to forecheck, and Lume starts the Canucks back. Jyrke Lume feeds Rob Murphy over the Hawk line. Murphy against Presley to the corner, trying to center it. Presley blocked the pass. Now Creighton able to pick it up. Adam Creighton gave it to Bob McGill, who advanced it to center. Now Thomas chasing into the Canuck zone. Got beaten to the play by Lume, and he cleared it to center ice. Taken by Chris Chelios. center ice. Hawks dumping it right back in. Roy Gamble gave it away. Lemieux in the far corner. Lemieux takes a look, center in a shot, and a save by Gamble on Caluso. Rebound right to the goal crease, and Gamble covers it there. And some pushing and shoving around the net, but the officials are there in a hurry. And Gamble gave himself a problem with a giveaway, but made the stop, and the game remains scoreless. Jeremy Roenick and Trevor Linden. And ready for the draw. Linden unable to win the faceoff. Manson's long shot kicked away. And now winds up on the stick of Gerald Diddick. Diddick tries a long bank breakaway pass, but Conroy had his man well covered at center. Now Diddick shoots it back into the Chicago zone, and Conroy's on it. Conroy ran into Linden behind the net. Now Sandlack after it, jammed and loose. Along the far side, Diddick puts it in behind the Hawk goal. Conroy has it there, looking for Goulet on the near side. He's well covered on the board. Canucks keep it in. Here's Linden to his backhand, put it out for the line. Diddick a long shot. No for the save. Rebound. Loose in the slot. Clear just wide of the net. And Manson able to come up with it. And he looks to clear and does get it out to center ice. And an outstanding start to this game for the Blackhawks goaltender Belfour. Here's Thomas the other way. Takes the shot. Left it for Murray. He shoots. And he shot it just wide. Now Yanni keeps it in his shot. Deflects it. Doesn't get through to Thomas. And he whacked at it but chopped it wide of the net. Murray in the corner to Thomas behind to Murray. The give and go wasn't there. Now Murray picks it up. Murray to the near circle. Lets it go. And it's saved by Gamble. Rebound to Murray. Now the Hawks are the ones that have the heat on. It's cleared behind the Canuck goal. And over to the far side where Adams chopped at it and did get it out to center ice. Roy Murray dumping it back in there. Graham on the far side. Moves to the corner. Now had it poke check behind the net by Nordmark. And then Adams couldn't get it by Gilbert, who moves in. Shoot! That didn't get through. And now the Canucks turn a lead for Adams. The center one-man back is Yanni. And Trent Yanni made a good defensive play, preventing a shot from Greg Adams. And they pile up in the near corner. And the Hawks split. Gilbert able to dig it out of there. And Greg Gilbert on his backhand cleared it back into the Vancouver zone. And this will be an icing call against Chicago.
Well, Belfour makes a good save on the Diddick shot. The Blackhawks counter with pressure of their own, their best pressure of the night. Roy Murray with Thomas and Graham, they had their best pressure and best shift. Thomas started the game with Creighton and Presley, but this shift out with Roy Murray and Graham, and Roy Murray with a couple of good scoring chances, stopped by Gamble. So both goaltenders appear to be very sharp. Belfour's been the busier of the two, and he's been excellent in the early going.
Face off to the left of Belfour, and the draw bouncing around in the circle, finally corralled by Caluso. Gave it to Hudson at center. Looking for Lemieux on the right side, but the pass was behind him. And now winds up deep in the Canucks zone. Doug Lister makes a double spinorama, cleared it over to the far side finally, and it deflects to center. Gill dumps it back in. Taken by Kerbers. Tom Kerbers goes up the middle of Larionov, who bounced it ahead. A bouncing puck, and McGill had it hop over his stick. Now on the far side, Jay Mazur tries to center it. It deflects in behind the net. Taken by Larionov. He looks in front of Mazur, and he shot one wide as he fell. Into the near corner. Gary Falk put it in behind the Hawk net. Lemieux there. And Jocelyn Lemieux carries it back to center ice. And they're going to get a Canucks penalty as Lemieux got flashed as he carried the puck out of the Hawk zone. Nearly halfway through the first period in Vancouver, the game is scoreless.
I used to think maintenance problems.
This is Jocelyn Lemieux. Penalty coming at 9:20. Blackhawks will get their first power play. Meanwhile, at the other end, good, solid hit by Doug Wilson on the rookie Balk. Balk had a tremendous game in his first game against the Blackhawks, as he had just been called up from Milwaukee, the Canucks farm team. But Mazur, also a rookie in the lineup. This is the slashing penalty at 9:20.
Now the draw at the Canucks line, taken by Lume. Trying to carry it out of the zone. He had every opportunity to fire at the length of the ice, and for some reason wanted to carry it. Failed to clear it. Now he gets a second chance. He doesn't get this out. Chelios at the far point. His pass hits the leg right to the goal mouth, and Gamble will settle it down there. And I imagine he might advise his defenseman when he gets a chance to clear it, he might want to think about doing it.
Well, if Gamble doesn't advise him, I'm sure Bob McCammon will, because he's put Lister and Diddick out there in a hurry, and off comes Lume. And I wonder if Lume will understand what McCammon's going to try and tell him. Doug Lister, a long-time veteran defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks, came under fire when we came here early in November because he wanted to renegotiate or sign a new contract or play out his option, as the imagine was, and he got some heat from management saying he wasn't loyal.
Now here's the draw to Lister. He cleared it to center ice. Adams trying to get away from a check, but it's through to be a two-line pass. And the whistle sounds. And haven't heard any further on that. I don't believe Doug Lister has signed here yet. And he might draw some attention around the league if he does become a free agent at the end of the season.
He definitely will get some attention. A lot of teams will be interested in Lister, defensively, and add some punch offensively as well. Really hard to get a feel for the excitement of the game here in this first period in this building, because these fans are probably the most quiet fans around.
Here's the draw right to Chelios. He lets it go, and a save rebound. Goulet has a stick held. He had an open net. That'll be a penalty. The Canucks saved a goal. A good penalty to take, as the rebound came right to Michel Goulet with Gamble down and out of the play, and Lister had to tackle him, and he did.
Well, definitely a penalty. Goulet would have scored if he hadn't had his stick held by Lister. The shot from Chelios kicked away. The rebound attempt by Goulet, and he's yanked down by Lister, and Lister knows to go straight to the box without any argument. He just saved the goal. 54. Meanwhile, Larmer almost chipped it in as well on the delayed penalty call. So a two-man advantage for a minute 26 seconds. Still that time remaining on Mazur's first penalty for slashing. And Lister getting the holding call at 9:54.
Well, a golden opportunity for the Blackhawks here. With a two-man advantage as Creighton comes on now with Larmer and Roenick up in front. Here's the draw. And it's cleared down by Diddick, the length of the ice. Doug Wilson starts the Blackhawks back, putting Roenick over the line, going to the corner, takes a look, turns in behind the net, put it to the near point. Wilson flips it across to Chelios, moving in, takes the shot, looking for Roenick. It's deflected to Wilson. He holds it into Chelios. Back to Wilson near point. He gave it to Chelios, side of the net to Larmer. He centered it. Gamble blocked the pass, rebounding in behind the net. Diddick failed to get it out. Wilson at the line. Wilson tees it up, shooting. It's blocked by Larionov, who crawled in front of the shot. And Chelios keeps it in. 40 seconds for the two-man advantage. Here's Chelios, top of the ring, shooting, and he shot it just wide of the near post. Held in by Wilson. Wilson to the deep slot. Gave it to Chelios, through the box to Roenick. He gets it to settle down, put it to Wilson. And Chelios, he hit the goal post, on the score! Steve Larmer picked up the carom off the goal post, and from a sharp angle, tucks it in. And the Blackhawks capitalize on a two-man advantage to take a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Canucks have been doing a good job in the first minute of this situation with two players up front, two forwards. Chelios moved in, and one-timer off the side of the net, right to Larmer. Larmer with the quick hands from a sharp angle, put it upstairs as Gamble couldn't get back up. Wilson fanned on his first attempt at Chelios. He hit the side of the net, and Larmer made him pay, and there's still 58 seconds remaining on Lister's holding penalty. So the Hawks in a great position here to get a good lead on Vancouver and frustrate them even more.
31 goals now for Steve Larmer. Chelios and Wilson assisting at 10:56. And Larmer now counting tonight in 14 games. 8 goals, only 4 points in the last 14, and there's still 2.5 periods left in this. Here's Wilson over the Canuck line to Graham. He put it to the far side. Chelios cuts in, center shot, Gamble, big save, a great pass by Chris Chelios. Feathered it right into the slot, and Troy Murray ripped a quick drive, but he shot it right into the body of the goaltender.
Well, not much Troy Murray could do. The puck was a bit behind him. He just said let it go on the fly. bang type play, and it just hit Gamble. Bad break for Troy Murray. Quick pass from Doug Wilson over to Chelios. What a beautiful soft pass from Chelios. Troy Murray did all he could. Just fired it one time right into the right shoulder of Troy Gamble.
Face off to the right of Gamble. Here's the draw to Wilson at the line. Tearing into the corner. Lume steals and clears it down all the way. Now Chelios sends Roenick to center ice. Roenick steps in over the line, weaves to the deep slot, put it in front of bouncing puck over the stick of Thomas. And it's cleared back into the Chicago zone. And Belfour with a good read comes well out of the net as Robert Cron was racing after the loose puck. Now Graham at center. Gets into the Vancouver end. Put it to Thomas on the far side. He's taken off the play by Cron. And Butcher clears. And that does it for the second Vancouver penalty. Both teams are now back at full strength. And a dump in from Thomas winds up in the seat. With 8 minutes remaining in the opening period, the Blackhawks have cashed in on a power play and lead 1-0. Dale Talon, Pat Foley back in Vancouver, 1-0 in favor of the Blackhawks, trying to avenge a loss here in this rink earlier this season. Now the play is in the Vancouver zone, and the Canucks, Ronnie Stern, unable to clear it. Now Lister out to the far side, then out to center and Stern, who shoots it into the Blackhawks zone. Taken by Manson. Dave Manson fired it into the chest of Troy Murray, who's able to hang on to it and get a whistle. Difficult pass to handle, but Murray made the safe play out of it and got a whistle.
Well, I'm not so sure it was meant for Troy Murray, as Presley was streaking out the right side. I think Manson intended to get it further up the wing, and it just happened to hit Troy Murray. Unfortunately for the Blackhawks, it was lodged in his equipment because the Canucks were bearing in a dangerous spot right in the middle of the ice in their own zone.
The bangers and crashers out there now for the Canucks. Rob Murphy at center. With big Gino Odjick on the left side, and the Steamer stands still on right wing. Here's the draw taken by Robert Nordmark. He feathers one in front, into the goal mouth, and Belfour able to smother it there.
Excellent work again by Belfour, and a shot that was redirected. Canucks winning that draw, and back to Nordmark. Nordmark, third year with the Vancouver Canucks, fourth year in the league after playing 1 year in St. Louis. Belfour right in position to pounce on that loose puck and not prevent any further damage.
Face off to the left of Belfour. Encouragement for a couple of the Hawk forwards. Now here's the play in the Chicago zone. It's held in by Sandlak. He shoots one. Good save by Belfour to his right. Rebound to the far side. Sandlak kept it in. Now Goulet took a hit but allowed Roenick to play the puck. Jeremy Roenick feeds to Dave Manson. He shot it to center ice. Robert Cron lost the handle of Conroy, who bangs it in there. Taken by Nordmark. To Trevor Linden, whose pass deflects away from Cron and carried on by Didick. And now the Canucks dump it in. There's Jeremy Roenick racing back to center. Rolls it into the Canucks zone as the Hawks head for a change. And Lume put it to the near side, held in by Presley. Got it around the board. Gilbert kicked it loose to the near corner. And good play by Lume to take him out of the action. And meanwhile, Murphy back to center. Murphy over the Hawk line. He only moves in. Couldn't get rid of the one-hand shot, though. Held in by Lume. Lume fought off a check, cleared it in behind the Hawk net. Murphy lost it there to Chelios. Chelios feeds Gilbert. He's bumped off the up, and Murray wins the draw to Wilson. Around the boards to Thomas. He rolls it to the Vancouver line. Lister on it there. But Lister gave it to Curvers, who shoots it to the Hawk line. It deflects there. Here's a chance. A long shot. That's high by Gary Balk. Now cleared in behind the Hawk net. Balk and Wilson bang there, and Thomas comes up with it. Dave Thomas puts McGill to center. Flips it to Troy Murray, but it was at his feet, and then Wilson sends it deep into the Canucks zone. Thomas to the far corner. Takes a look, trying to center it, and in behind the net goes Graham. He put it out in front. Roenick put it in front. And the pass was behind Thomas, who was breaking for the net. Now into the neutral zone where Manson dumps it back into Vancouver territory. Roenick into the corner. Now got it loose to Larmer on his backhand of the deep slot. Then rolled into Conroy. He's got room. Lets it go. And he shot it just wide of the far post. And back come the Canucks. Here's Sandlak over the Hawk line. Or Nedved, rather. Peter Nedved's pass is picked off, but behind the play. The penalty is going to be called against Chicago. And the Canucks go to the power play, trailing 1-0.
With Dan retiring, he has to be about having Sundays long because they've been shorthanded probably more than anybody in the league. But only 16 goals against and 134 times short on the road.
Here's Gay Lume in his own zone. There it is to Trevor Linden. Now Nordmark. Puts it to Cron over the line. Robert Cron was surrounded. And the Canucks have to regroup at center ice. Now they'll try dumping it in. Belfour back of the goal. Put it to the near side. Sandlak picks it up along the board. Wilson steps into him. Now a couple of others join in, and Donzo Hartfield sound the whistle.
Canucks having difficulty even getting into the Blackhawks zone. That time it was dumped in, but everyone stopped standing still, and then Belfour was able to play it, put it around the board. Steve Larmer, 693 straight games. The longest current streak in the league, fourth longest in the history of the NHL.
Now the face-off to the left of Belfour. 4 minutes left in the opening period. 1-0 in favor of the Hawks on Larmer. 31st of the year. Will get ready with Hudson for the face-off. After the Hawks getting in a position that their coach wants to see. Now everybody's ready. Here's the draw taken by Lister. Near side to Cron, cutting and shooting. He's there to find, going to the short side. Now cleared over to the far board. Hudson jammed it loose to Chelios, fought off one check, then rolled it to Lemieux. He's got Hudson breaking, and a great play by Linden in center. Might have saved the breakaway as he picks it out of midair. Linden rolled it to the Hawk zone, then Hudson picks it up and clears.
Nice attempt by Lemieux, nice feather pass. Hudson was gone, no one was going to catch him, and Linden was able to swat it out of midair.
Now Cron gets over the Hawk line, shoots one, and Conroy puts the stick down right in front of the shot. And deflected it harmlessly into the seat. Well,
Cron really let one rip prior to that, though. He had Belfour leaning a bit to his right. He had a little opening to the short side just between the glove and the crossbar, and I'm not sure if he got a piece of the crossbar or not, but he really fired it in from close. Linden picks it out of midair. Great play, and then lost possession, allowing Belfour to clean, but just prior to that, the pass was intercepted. Linden's got a great future. He's been really super in his 2 years with Vancouver. A great rookie year, and then slumped a bit in the sophomore year. Probably tried to do too much. Linden was in that situation last year in his second year, thinking he could do a little bit more to help his club. And sometimes when you try too much, you get into some bad habits.
23 goals for the youngster Linden. 39 points coming into the action tonight, which leads the Canucks scoring list. Now Greg Adams Gets over the Chicago line. Adams weaving to the far side. Cleared it to the near board. Here's Kerber's deep slot along. Shot by Lester. Kicked away nicely by Belfour. Coming back to the line. Kerber's near point holds it in. Up the boards to Adams. Greg Adams able to hold it into Kerber's face. It gives it back to Adams. He shoots it, deflects up high. Over to the far side where Murray clears it down all the way, and that does it for the Hawks penalty. Both teams are back at full strength.
Well, some nice work by Kerber, though. Nevertheless, the last couple of shifts, some nice passing in the offensive zone.
Now Gino Hodgick along shot goes wide. Bounces free back to center ice. Now taken by Larmer. He slipped it to Roenick. Back to Larmer over the line. Got a step on Hodgick, who hooked it, forced him to turn. Then Larmer still feeds Wilson. He shoots. And that didn't get through. Good shot block there by Butcher. And now the Canucks start back. Here's Stan Mills steaming over the Hawk line. He centered it. And Hodgick rolled it in front. Belfour sweeps it away, but a penalty is going to be called on Larmer as he took Rob Murphy down to the ice. And the Canucks will get yet another power play.
Well, Larmer was hooked going the other way. 15.
And he's got 7 so far this season. Here's the draw in the Hawk zone. Bounces through the slot. Wilson fending off a check, and then Roenick able to clear it. Back the other way. Now Doug Lidster. Gave it to Kerbers. Now it's cleared down into the Chicago zone. Taken by Chelios back of the net. Got a rough ride from Linden. They bang in the far corner. 3 Canuck forwards all in there after it. Finally dug out. And now Kerbers. Far board to Linden. Flipped it back to Kerbers. His long shot. Fired it just wide. Held into Lidster a shot. And that one is saved by Belfour. Rebound to Wilson. He cleared. Final minute of the period as Lidster shoots it back in. Taken by Conroy. He clears it down all the way. Now Doug Lidster shoots it into the Blackhawks zone. And Belfour clears it himself right back to center ice. Half a minute left in the opening period. Here's Adams getting the Hawk line. Even a Lidster near board. He tries to feed Larionov. It's at his feet. Now he has it. He's centered. Deflected away by Graham back to the line. Nordmark kept it in. Now into the corner, Adams. Greg Adams, side of the net. Trying to center one. It came to the deep slot. Here's Nordmark. Put it to the far circle. Now the steering will run out as the Canucks made a couple of extra passes in the last few seconds and thereby did not get a scoring chance after they were swarming the Hawk net. 9 shots on goal for each team in the first period here tonight. And the only goal coming when the Blackhawks had a 2-man advantage. Steve Larmer comes in his 31st of the year. From Chelios and Wilson at 10:56, then Doug Wilson will be along to visit with Dale Talon here in just a moment on Sports Channel, and News Weather and Sports is coming up on the radio side. After 20 minutes in the Pacific Coliseum, Hawks 1, Canucks nothing. Wow.
That's good, because I still have shares in this team.
When they first drafted you, they didn't want to pay you, so they gave you part in a few shares. An advantage to start this second period. 1-0 in favor of the Hawks, and Larmer has the Chicago goal. 19 out of Steve Larmer's 31 goals this year have come on the road. And now we're ready. Here's the draw. Taken by Gilbert, and he clears it down in beyond the Canuck goal. Trevor Linden starting Vancouver back as he does. The Hawk penalty is over. Both teams are back in full strength. Linden over the Hawk line. There's going to be a penalty off the play. Coming into the near corner, Linden crashing together with Manson. They both hit the deck and the whistle sounds, and Greg Gilbert is going to be sent off here for getting the stick higher than Don Koharski thought he should have. This will be the fourth Vancouver power play of the game. The Hawks have had 2.
Greg Gilbert's going to get the gate for high sticking. Gilbert motioning to Koharski at the shoulder when he went to hook him. He pulled his shoulder up, and that forced the stick to come up.
2 minutes for high sticking.
High sticking penalty on Gilbert, who did a good job right off the bat, forcing the Canucks in their own zone to kill off the 16 seconds on the clock. But he gets caught for high sticking, and the Canucks will go to the power play once again. They're 0 for 3. Important for the Blackhawks to kill this one off and not allow the Canucks to score and tie this up and get back into it with some momentum. The longer they can keep the Vancouver Canucks off the score sheet, obviously the more frustrated they will become, and better opportunity Chicago will have of getting a road win.
Tom Kerber tossed it up to Roenick. He rolls it into the Canucks zone. Lister has to hurry with Larmer in hot pursuit. Now Doug Lister able to jam it loose. Trevor Linden carries it back into the Chicago zone. Linden on the near side against Chelios. Gets around and cuts in front. He shoots and shot it wide. Rebound to the near side. Here's a centering pass. Linden put it in front. Wilson a diving play to break up the pass. Canucks keep it in though. Linden near board. Trevor Linden feeds it up. Shooting. Belfour the same rebound. Cron. He couldn't find the handle on it. Now he does. He gave it a Linden who mishandled it. Roenick racing back. The race is on. Roenick in over the line trying to feed Larmer, but the pass is picked off, and here come the Canucks away. Robert Cron over the Hawk line. Had to throw it into the corner. Conroy after it there, puts it around the board. Held in by Sandlak. And Sandlak around to the near side of Cron. He tries to center, hit the side of the net with it, and Chelios, and shoots it back to the Canuck line. A minute left on the Vancouver power play. Here's Lume over the Hawk line. There we get in behind the net. Chelios goes down. He might have taken a bit of a dive there. The Canucks are going to get a penalty. A delayed call is Graham. Moves into the Vancouver zone shooting. And it's deflected up over top of the net. And as Lume controls, the whistle sounds, and that'll take care of the Canuck power play. Early in the second, 1-0 Hawks.
Ready for some good news?
We'll go to their third power play of the night. They have the lone goal with the man advantage.
Now the draw to the far side. Nordmark unable to clear it. Graham along the board. Jammed it loose, but Nordmark picks it up and clears it back into the Blackhawk zone. There's Manson. Dave Manson weaving at center ice. Now trying to pick his way over the line. He does, but the pass hit his skate. And Graham back into the neutral zone after. Now the Hawk penalty's over and Chicago on the power play. Here's Troy Murray firing it around the boards in the Canuck zone. Goulet on the near side. Look a hit there from Diddick. Now puck cleared over to the far point. Held in by Wilson, a long shot. He was hoping for a Goulet tip, but he just missed it. Now Chelios' pass, a weak one stolen. And Larionov gets into the Hawk zone. He peels off, going to try to waste some time. The Canucks play keep away. Then Lidster clears it. And under a minute left on the Hawk power play. Michel Goulet sends it too far for Larmer. Lidster steals and clears. Back to the Hawk net. Here's Linden getting knocked down, and a penalty is going to be called. Early in the second, still 1-0 Hawks.
I still can't see the elbow call in that situation, as you just put it behind the net and ran into Linden accidentally.
Now the play in the Chicago zone on the far side. Diddick with a long shot. Belfour stopped it as Nedved attempting to redirect it. Gave a problem to Belfour, but he still made the save, and the Hawks cleared to center ice. Peter Nedved, highly touted youngster, then his pass to off, cleared into the Vancouver zone. Taken by the rookie Nedved, second player chosen in the draft last year. He cleared it to center, and the Canucks dump it in. Now the Vancouver penalty's over, and the Canucks are on a power play. The shot back into Vancouver ice. There's Tom. Provide a spark on the Canuck power play. Here's a long feed to Crown over the line. He cuts in shooting. Belfour stops it. Rebound to Gilbert. He tries to clear and does with help from Murray. Get it out to center ice. Here's a might have been a two-line pass, but the play continues as Lister feeds Linden to the line. Rolled it into the near corner. Back out to the near point. Held in. Not quite, says Randy Mitton. Jim Sandlack arguing about it. Randy Mitton was right there and said that Sandlack pulled the puck outside the line in his stick handling effort.
Puck in the corner. Lister carried it in, then dumped it, picked it up himself, put it around the board. Sandlack at the point going in for Lister, and Mitton was right there to say the puck had completely crossed the line. Pretty close call, tough for us to see, but Mitton was a lot closer and obviously had a better view of it. And only 45 seconds now remaining on the fifth Vancouver power play of the night. And we still have 15 minutes to go here in the second period.
1-0 in favor of the Hawks as the face-off to the neutral zone. Wilson lost it. Got it a couple of feet wide, trying for the top corner, and the Hawks able to clear it.
Well, if you're going to cough it up to anybody, you might as well cough it up to him because he's not known for his scoring ability. Though he does have 6 goals, but he has 194 minutes in penalties in only 30 games.
He had a good idea there trying for the top corner, but he missed it by quite a margin. Here's a Troy Murray steal. Murray moves 2-on-2 in over the line, shooting, and a save by Gamble. And now he's played it to Tom Kerber.
First shot on goal for the Blackhawks. They've been shorthanded most of the start of this period.
Now Chelios in his zone and gave it away. Odjick and unable to get to the bouncing puck. Wilson does, and he lost it. Here's Odjick, a shot, and a save by Belfour. The Hawk penalty's over. Now Crown gets knocked down by Wilson. And they battle on the near side. Then Chelios an ice speed to Graham at center. He moves 2-on-2 over the line. Leads for Goulet, who fakes now. Shoot! And a save by Gamble. Rebound to the near side. Cleared behind the net. And Garth Butcher has it there. And he bounced it back to the Hawk line. Both teams are at full strength. Here comes the Canucks now. A chance for Jay Mazur. He shoots on it. Belfour stops it. Rebound to Grant. And now Manson feeds Goulet at center. Michel Goulet to the line, but his pass was knocked away by Lumet. Gave it to Garth Butcher on the far side. Butcher shot it back into Chicago territory, and this is going to be an icing call against Vancouver. 13.5 to go in the second period, and Chicago 1, Vancouver nothing. Coming to the right of Troy Gamble. And here's the draw. Taken by Thomas. He slips it to Warmer. A quick shot and a good save by Gamble. Rebound. Cleared back to center ice. Hawks dump it in, but they were in there ahead of the play, so the whistle's down. We'll have a face-off at center.
Steve Larmer continues to roll. 19 goals, as you mentioned, on the road this year. For 31 he scored. Good shot. Excellent save by Gamble, who's had little work here in the first part of the second period, thanks to some Vancouver power play. He made an excellent save on Troy Murray for his first save of the period in a shorthanded attempt, and that one on Larmer was an excellent kick save.
Now Larionov, a backhand pass to the far side. Here's a shot deflected wide. Nice play by Chelios to get back and redirect Jay Mazur's attempt. Now they bang away on the near side. It's cleared back into the Canucks zone. Larionov. Up the near side to Gary Falk. Falk over the Chicago line. And third is behind the net. Roenick moves along the near board. Had it knocked loose to Larionov, trying to take his way. Good one, and a save by Belfour, but a penalty is going to be called as Yanni took Larionov to the ice, and Vancouver again to the power play. It's Chicago 1 and Vancouver nothing.
With Dan retiring, he has to be about
Larionov, and a pull-down maneuver by Yanni at the last second. And the Canucks get their 6th power play chance with 12:49 still to go in the second period. They've already had 3 power plays. This is their 3rd power play. 7 minutes and 11 seconds have gone by in the period.
Here's Dave Manson. Fires it around the boards. It deflects the center where Hudson picks it up. Racing it over the line on Herbert. Hey, he shot it just wide as Hudson turned on the jet and got himself a chance out of it. Hudson to the corner trying to center it. Nobody home for Chicago. Back comes Vancouver. Here's Peter Nedved putting it over the line. And offside was Trevor Linden.
Well, 2 youngsters that this franchise will be counting on in this decade for sure. Linden has proven himself to be a star. Peter Nedved, the second player chosen overall in last year's draft, with 65 goals and 80 assists. Nedved is the Czechoslovakian native who came over as a youngster and played junior hockey in Seattle. A little more accustomed to the North American style than most European players would be, but he's gotten off to a slow start this year. Didn't play much early. Now he started to get more ice time in the middle part of the season.
That's one thing that trade with Toronto did for Nedved with Brian Bradley and Centerman getting traded. There's more opportunity for Nedved now to get some NHL ice time. Everybody around Vancouver thinks he's eventually going to be a great player, but they say he's a rather wiry sort of fellow, and that he's going to need to work on his overall strength eventually. But you can see when he's had the rare opportunity to get a glimpse of him that the skills are there. He just needs to get a little bit more strength to be able to put up with all the NHL competition he'll face.
That's really a lot to ask of an 18-year-old kid to come into a franchise and to be a star right off the bat, especially a European young player, and then a 15-pound gain already this year. And sometimes that can affect the speed and the stick handling ability. So taking the time to get adjusted to the new weight.
Canucks on the power play as Adams tries to wind it up. He comes racing over the Hawk line. Greg Adams to the far side. Rolled it behind the net. Bumped into Manson there. Major trying to dig it out. Unable to do it. Good work by Manson tying up a couple of Canucks players, and he forces a faceoff.
Dave Manson's had a solid game defensively for the Blackhawks. He's been moving the puck well.
Here on the Canucks power play. Larionov, Major, and Adams out in front for Vancouver. Here's the draw. Servers held it in. Adams on the far side. Got tied up, stolen away, and Conroy clears at the length. Greg Adams got run over by Murray, but cleared it to center ice. Bouncing around on the far board, and Hudson rolled it to the Canuck line. Now Kerbers will send it in. Taken by Manson. He had it poke check before he could clear it. Centering pass the shot. Oh, just fine. Lister tried the quick release, but having to go off the heel of his stick. Now Major centered and deflects to the deep slot. Kerbers holds it into Lister. He lets it go, and the save by Belfour with a glove. And he hangs on to it.
I think that shot might have gone wide, but Belfour saw that the pressure was being put on. Elected to make the save regardless. Probably would have hit maybe the side of the net. He gloved it and froze it, and Blackhawks have an opportunity to get some fresh players out there. They've been out there for almost the entire 2-minute power play of a Canuck. And a good hit by Troy Murray, catching the Canuck player Adams with his head down.
There's 16 seconds left on Yanni's penalty, 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. 11 minutes to go in the second period. Jeremy Roenick and Rob Murphy ready for the draw. Murphy wanted to the far side. Diddick cleared it into the corner. Chelios yanked down there, sends it up the boards, held in by Diddick. Cleared it back around the boards, and finally it's deflected to center. Here comes Roenick. He races over the line on Diddick. Roenick peels off to look for help. Still has it the deep slot. Got away from Diddick. Then he's centered in Larmer. Couldn't pull the trigger. The Hawk penalty's over. Larmer a long shot. Kicked aside by Gamble. Rebound to the near corner. Thomas jammed it loose there. Oh, then Larmer got kicked inadvertently. He and Gino Odjick came together, and Odjick's skate came up and clipped Larmer. And the Hawks are upset with that, trying to get at Gino Odjick, but that certainly looked as if it was inadvertent. And Larmer's screaming at Gino Odjick, but it looked as if after they collided, he was just off balance, and the skate came up and clipped him.
He was pinned up against the board by Diddick, and then Odjick came in and hammered him after the play. It didn't look like a skate, looked like a stick came up and clipped Larmer. And then Roenick came in to get at him, and so did Chelios. With the stick inadvertently came up and clipped Larmer, and Larmer went down, and now Chelios is discussing it with Mitten, the linesman. Obviously, Kowarski didn't see it, but Larmer a bit dazed by it and has a towel over the bridge of his nose, it appears. And so far, it doesn't look like there's going to be any penalty called at all. Larmer clearly cut. He's pinned up against the, Thomas is pinned up against the boards. Larmer comes across, and Odjick comes in and knocks him off the boards and puts, tried to straighten both arms around. The stick inadvertently came up and clipped him, but it doesn't even look like there's going to be a penalty call.
Chelios wants to know what Don Kowarski thought that he saw there. And please, we're going to fall on deaf ears again here.
Sure, there would be a 4-minute high sticking penalty. I don't think it was blatant enough to be the 5-minute in the game, but we've seen less than that call as a 4-minute penalty.
Now the Canucks will go unscathed.
Why
do the Blackhawks have only 4 players out there? Larmer it appeared that he was sent to the Hawk bench by Kowarski. So Lemieux now hops over the boards to replace him, and here's the draw. Controlled by the Canucks. Peter Nesbitt rolled it down into the Blackhawk zone. Steve Conroy along the boards from Stern, who clobbered him. It's cleared to center, though. Here comes Thomas over the line. Thomas had it knocked loose, and then Manson able to hold it in. Got it into the near corner. Thomas got away from a check centering, but it's picked off by Butcher. He feeds Greg Adams. Adams to Butcher over the Hawk line. Stopping on the near side. Now he shoots, and he shot it wide. Held in by Stern. He lets it go, and he hits the side of the net. And it deflects over the glass and into the crowd. And the Blackhawk bench would like to know why on the last rush there wasn't a penalty called, as I think it was Hudson just yanked to the ice for Roenick on the far side.
Well, Roenick clearly pulled down in his attempt to get open. Ronnie Stern took a charge at Conroy. And as Larmer, or I should say Roenick, was breaking up the far side, here's a shot by Stern off the side, and that deflecting off the side into the crowd. And Steve Conroy hit by Stern in the corner. Good clean hit, but could have been a charge, but no call there. And at the other end, Larmer trying to break at the blue line was yanked down. believe it was Peter Nedved who pulled him down in the back-checking role, and no call there either. 6 power plays already for Vancouver. The Blackhawks have had 3. The last one a brief one that was cut short by one of their penalties.
1-0 in favor of the Hawks halfway through the second period. He's in the Chicago zone. They wrestle along the far side. Now Stanley trying to jam it loose. He does behind the net. McGill's on it, put it around the board. Held in by Lister. No, he didn't. It hopped over his stick. Back into the Canucks zone. Now McGill puts it back of the net. Taken by Curvers. Curvers put it to the near side. Held in by Goulet to the corner. Goulet in on Lister. Turns behind the net. Creighton standing right next to him there. And now Goulet digs it out. Centering it. Graham unable to get his stick on it. Now the Canucks start back. Linden hits the Hawk line. Mishandled it though. And it results in an offside call against the Canucks. With 9 minutes left in the second. It's Chicago 1. Vancouver 0.
Previous car was still unreliable.
Canucks without shot. Chicago 16-13 so far. The face-off outside the Hawk line.
With 16 shots on goal, they got 6 power plays.
Cleared back of the Hawk net. Chelios. And they get away from it. Check does. Cleared it to the near side. And Lemieux rolls to the center and Gilbert. Greg Gilbert shoots it, hoping for Lemieux. Comes charging into the corner. Rolled it around the boards. Facing it to the far side. Gilbert has it there. Greg Gilbert centered it just behind Lemieux, though. And Murphy for Vancouver. Got it out to center ice. Gerald Diddick bangs it in deep. Roy Murray. Tied up along the far side. Can't get it out. Now Murphy put it into the corner. Chelios and Murphy bumped there. Now the Canucks Major digs it loose. Major centered it. Gary Bobshot deflected by Yanni. And it's picked up by Gilbert. Is going to be called here against Vancouver's boss. And the Blackhawks will go to the power play, looking to increase a 1-0 lead. Up to the neutral zone. Wilson. A couple of feet wide, trying for the top corner. And the Hawks able to clear it.
Well, if you're going to cough it up to anybody, you might as well cough it up to him, because he's not known for his scoring ability. Though he does have 6 goals. But he has 194 minutes in penalties in only 30 games.
He had a good idea there trying for the top corner, but he missed it by quite a margin. Here's a Troy Murray steal. Murray moves 2-on-2 in over the line, shooting, and a save by Gamble. And now he's played it to Tom Kerber.
First shot on goal for the Blackhawks. They've been shorthanded most of the start of this period.
Now Chelios in his zone and gave it away. Odjick and unable to get to the bouncing puck. Wilson does, and he lost it. Here's Odjick, a shot, and a save by Belfour. The Hawk penalty's over. Now Brown gets down by Wilson. And they battle on the near side. Then Chelios at ice speed to Graham at center. He moves 2-on-2 over the line. Leads for Goulet, who fakes now. Shoot! And a save by Gamble. Rebound to the near side. Cleared behind the net. And Garth Butcher has it there. And he bounced it back to the Hawk line. Both teams are at full strength. Here comes the Canucks now. A chance for Jay Mazur. He shoots one, and Belfour stops it. Rebound to Grant. And now Manson feeds Goulet at center. Michel Goulet to the line, but his pass is knocked away by Lume. Gave it to Garth Butcher on the far side. Butcher shot it back into Chicago territory, and this is going to be an icing call against Vancouver. 13.5 to go in the second period. At Chicago 1, Vancouver 0.
Nothing beats it. The one and only. The clean, the crisp, the cold. The king of beers. Nothing beats the fun. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the fun.
Face-off coming to the right of Troy Gamble. back to center ice. Hawks dump it in, but they were in there ahead of the play, so the whistle's down. We'll have a face-off at center.
Steve Larmer continues to roll. 19 goals, as you mentioned, on the road this year. From 31 he scored. Quick shot, excellent save by Gamble, who's had little work here in the first part of the second period thanks to some Vancouver power play. He made an excellent save on Troy Murray for his first save of the period in a short-handed attempt, and that one on Larmer was an excellent kick save.
Now Larionov, a backhand pass to the far side. Here's a shot deflected wide. Nice play by Telios to get back and redirect Jay Mazur's attempt. Now they bang away on the near side. It's cleared back into the Canucks zone. Igor Larionov up the near side to Gary Falk. Falk over the Chicago line. Now cleared it behind the net. Roenick moves along the near board. Had it knocked loose from Larionov, trying to take his way. Good ball and a save by Belfour, but a penalty is going to be called as Yanni took Larionov to the ice, and Vancouver again to the power play. It's Chicago 1 and Vancouver nothing.
With Dan retiring, he asked me about having Sundays free. I told him just go to the Chicago Tribune. So I did. I called 1-800-443-4100, ordered 26 weeks of 7-day home delivery, and I got my Sunday Tribune free. Just charge it to Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. The Tribune, almost 40% off the new stamp price of $2.10 a week. Just call 1-800-443-4100, and you'll get Sundays free. You can use the workout. Speaking of work, you're going to need this.
The Canucks go to the power play once again. Nice move by Larionov and a pull-down maneuver by Yanni at the last second. And the Canucks get their 6th power play chance with 12:49 still to go in the second period. They've already had 3 power plays. This is their 3rd power play. 7 minutes and 11 seconds have gone by in the period.
Here's Dave Manson. Fires it around the boards. It deflects the center where Hudson picks it up. Racing it over the line on Herbert. Hudson shoots. Hey, he shot it just wide as Hudson turned on the jet and got himself a chance out of it. Hudson to the corner trying to center it. Nobody home for Chicago. Back comes Vancouver. There's Peter Nedved putting it over the line. And offside was Trevor Linden.
Well, 2 youngsters that this franchise will be counting on in this decade for sure. Linden has proven himself to be a star. Peter Nedved, the second player chosen overall in last year's draft, with 65 goals and 80 assists. Nedved is the Czechoslovakian native who came over as a youngster and played junior hockey in Seattle. A little more accustomed to the North American style than most European players would be, but he's gotten off to a slow start this year. Didn't play much early. Now he started to get more ice time in the middle part of the season.
That's one thing that trade with Toronto did for Nedved with Brian Bradley at centerman getting traded. There's more opportunity for Nedved now to get some NHL ice time. Everybody around Vancouver thinks he's eventually going to be a great player, but they say he's a rather wiry sort of fellow, and that he's going to need to work on his overall strength eventually. But you can see when you've had the rare opportunity to get a glimpse of him that skills are there. He just needs to get a little bit more strength to be able to put up with all the NHL competition he'll face.
That's really a lot to ask of an 18-year-old kid to come into a franchise and be a star right off the bat, especially a European young player, and then a 15-pound gain already this year, and sometimes that can affect the speed and the stick handling ability, so taking the time to get adjusted to the new weight.
Canucks on the power play as Adams tries to wind it up. He comes racing over the Hawk line. Greg Adams to the far side. Rolled it behind the net. Bumped into Manson there. Major trying to dig it out, unable to do it. Good work by Manson tying up a couple of Canucks players, and he forces a face-off.
Dave Manson's had a solid game defensively for the Blackhawks. He's been moving the puck well.
front for Vancouver. Here's the draw. Rivers held it in. Adams on the far side. Got tied up, stolen away, and Conroy clears at the length. Greg Adams got run over by Murray, but cleared it to center ice. Bouncing around on the far board, and Hudson rolled it to the Canuck line. Now Kerbers will send it in. Taken by Manson. He had it poke check before he could clear it. Henrik has the shot. Oh, just fine. Lister tried the quick release, but happens to go off the heel of his stick. Now Major centered it, deflects to the deep slot. Kerbers holds it into Lister. He lets it go, and the save by Belfour with a glove, and he hangs on to it.
I think that shot might have gone wide, but Belfour saw that the pressure was being put on. Elected to make the save regardless. Probably would have hit maybe the side of the net. He gloved it and froze it, and Blackhawks have an opportunity to get some fresh players out there. They've been out there for almost the entire 2-minute power play of a Canucks. And a good hit by Troy Murray, catching the Canuck player Adams with his head down.
There's 16 seconds left on Yanni's penalty, 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. 11 minutes to go in the second period. Ready for the draw. Murphy won it to the far side. Diddick cleared it into the corner. Elios yanked down there, sends it up the boards, held in by Diddick. Cleared it back around the boards, and finally it's deflected to center. Here comes Roenick. He races over the line on Diddick. Roenick peels off to look for help. Still has it the deep slot. Got away from Diddick. Then he centered it. Larmer couldn't pull the trigger. The Hawk penalty's over. Larmer a long shot. Kicked aside by Gamble. Rebound to the near corner. Thomas jammed it loose there. Oh, then Larmer got kicked inadvertently. He and Gino Odjick came together, and Odjick's skate came up and clipped Larmer. And the Hawks are upset with that, trying to get at Gino Odjick, but that certainly looked as if it was inadvertent. And Larmer screaming at Gino Odjick, but it looked as if after they collided, he was just off balance, and the skate came up and clipped him.
He was pinned up against the board by Diddick, and then Odjick came in and hammered him after the play. It didn't look like a skate, it looked like a stick came up and clipped Larmer. And then Roenick came in to get at him, and so did Chelios. With the stick inadvertently came up and clipped Larmer, and Larmer went down, and now Chelios is discussing it with Mitten, the linesman. Obviously, Kolarski didn't see it, but Larmer a bit dazed by it and had the towel over the bridge of his nose, it appears. And so far, it doesn't look like there's going to be any penalty called at all. Larmer clearly cut. He's pinned up against the, Thomas is pinned up against the boards. Larmer comes across, and Odjick comes in and knocks him off the boards and tried to straighten both arms around. The stick inadvertently came up and clipped him, but it doesn't even look like there's going to be a penalty call.
Chelios wants to know what Don Kolarski thought that he saw there. And please, we're going to fall on deaf ears again here.
Sure, there would be a 4-minute high sticking penalty. I don't think it was blatant enough to be the 5-minute in the game, but we've seen less than that call as a 4-minute penalty.
Now the Canucks will go unscathed.
Why
do the Blackhawks have only 4 players out there? Larmer it appeared that he was sent to the Hawks bench by Kolarski. So Lemieux now hawks over the boards to replace him, and here's the draw. Controlled by the Canucks. Peter Nesbitt rolled it down into the Blackhawk zone. Steve Conroy along the board from Stern Butcher over the Hawk line. Stopping on the near side. Now he shoots and he shot it wide. Held in by Stern. He lets it go and he hits the side of the net. And it deflects over the glass and into the crowd. And the Blackhawks bench would like to know why on the last rush there wasn't a penalty called, as I think it was Hudson just yanked to the ice for Roenick on the far side.
Well, Roenick clearly pulled down in his attempt to get open. Ronnie Stern took a charge at Conroy. And as Larmer, or I should say Roenick, was breaking up the far side, here's a shot by Stern off the side net, deflecting off the side into the crowd. Steve Conroy hit by Stern in the corner. Good clean hit, but could have been a charge, but no call there. And at the other end, Larmer trying to break at the blue line was yanked down. I believe it was Peter Nedved who pulled him down in the back-checking role, and no call there either. 6 power plays already for Vancouver. The Blackhawks have had 3. The last one a brief one that was cut short by one of their penalties.
1-0 in favor of the Hawks halfway through the second period. He's in the Chicago zone. They wrestle along the far side. Now Stanley trying to jam it loose. He does behind the net. McGill's on it. Put it around the board. Held in by Lidster. No, he did. It hopped over his stick. Back into the Canucks zone. Now McGill flips it back of the net. Taken by Curvers. Curvers put it to the near side. Held in by Goulet to the corner. Goulet in on Lidster. Turns behind the net. Creighton standing right next to him there. And now Goulet digs it out. Centering it. Graham unable to get his stick on it. Now the Canucks start back. Linden hits the Hawk line. Mishandled it though. And it results in an offside call against the Canucks. With 9 minutes left in the second. It's Chicago 1, Vancouver 0.
The previous car was so unreliable, I never felt comfortable traveling alone with my baby daughter. Several times we were stranded, so I bought a Toyota Camry. With the Camry, I have no maintenance problems at all. It holds its value better. It's a beautiful car, and I'm surprised at how little it costs. My Toyota Camry takes care of me instead of the other way around, and I love that in a car.
Toyota, more for your money.
With Dale Talent, Pat Foley in the Pacific Coliseum. Steve Larmer's power play goal midway through the first is the only scoring thus far in the hockey game. Canucks have outshot Chicago 16-13 so far. The face-off outside the Hawk line.
With 16 shots on goal, they got 6 power plays.
Cleared back of the Hawk net. Chelios. And they get away from it. Check does. Cleared it to the near side. And Lemieux rolls to the center and Gilbert. Greg Gilbert shoots it, hoping for Lemieux. Comes charging into the corner. Rolled it around the board. Chasing it to the far side. Gilbert has it there. Greg Gilbert centered it just behind Lemieux, though. And Murphy for Vancouver. Got it out to center ice. Gerald Diddick bangs it in deep. Roy Murray. Tied up along the far side. Can't get it out. Now Murphy put it into the corner. Chelios and Murphy bumped there. Now the Canucks Major digs it loose. Jay Major centered it. Gary Bach shot deflected by Yanni. And it's picked up by Gilbert. Is going to be called here against Vancouver's Bach. And the Blackhawks will go to the power play, looking to increase a 1-0 lead.
This is never going to work. Relax. Anybody can send him roses.
Excuse me, we didn't know anything. Yeah, what's this?
Hi.
Did you really expect us to call him?
I'm telling you. Hello.
Gary Bach gets the holding penalty. At the 12-minute mark, he pulls down Greg Gilbert in his attempt to clear the puck out of his own zone. And the Blackhawks will get their 4th power play. This will be the 10th power play of the night. We still have 8 minutes to go in the second period, and it hasn't been that type of a game, Pat. It hasn't been a physical game. There has been a lot of nonsense. And we could have gotten by this first half of the game without maybe 1 or 2 power plays at the most.
exactly right. There's not been any, very little anyway, extracurricular nonsense. And the funny thing is, there seems to have been a couple of times when players were yanked down in potential scoring situations. Those went without penalties. Here's Wilson in each spot along the drive. He fired it just wrong wide behind the net. Goulet looking to dig it out, but it's wedged up against the net. And it'll be held there for a whistle. Michel Goulet, 477 goals in his career and 991 points, closing in on the magic 4-figure point total. May have it before this trip is over, the way this Hawk line has been going with Larmer and Roenick, although here in the second period he's had a couple of chips with other people. Face off outside the Canuck line. Now the draw. Taken by Wilson. Wilson gets into the Vancouver zone, weaving to the far point. Got it into the spot. Stolen there, though, and Lube cleared.
It was a 1-on-5 situation, or 4 situation, and all the Canucks just backed off, gave Wilson the line, and all kinds of time and room, and Wilson just had a stick yanked out of his hand.
Now here's a long shot by Mazur up off the glass. And finally corralled by Manson. Manson feeds Larmer to center. Steve Larmer flips it in. Now into the corner. Larmer comes up with it to the line, and Chelios walks to the deep slot. Far point to Wilson. There to side of the net to Roenick. He leaves it there. Everybody hacks at it, and the Canucks win the battle and clear. Now half a minute for the Hawk power play. Chelios with plenty of room to center as Canucks line up 4 across. He's forced to dump it in. Back of the net. Diddick put it around the boards over Wilson's stick and down the ice. One more rush on this Hawk power play as Creighton sends it in there. Adams on the near side. Got help from Lister. Jamming loose Adams. He's got time. Now he's going to skate it out. A long speed deflects away from Nedved, who was behind everybody, and would have been in if it got through to him. And the Canuck penalty now is over. Both teams are back at full strength as Thomas hits the Vancouver line. He can't get around Gerald Diddick, though. Peter Nedved takes it away. And now Falk on the left wing board. Otherson had offside with Adams. He was in there just ahead of the puck. The whistle blows with 6 minutes left in the second. 1-0 Chicago.
Our projection screen.
There the Blackhawks is managing to maintain a 1-0 lead over the Canucks. They scored midway through the first. That's all the scoring there's been. Now the play is in the Chicago zone. On the far side, it's dug out. A shot wide. Right, Nedved rebound in behind the goal. Now came loose at the side of the net, and Belfour will cover it there.
Now McCammon and Kowarski are screaming at each other. Why no penalty called? Because Nedved was pulled down and he moved to the slot. We've got enough power play, Bob. Relax. 6-4 the power play chances for Vancouver, but the Blackhawks have the lone goal with a man advantage. That goal coming at 10:56 of the first period. And this has not been an exciting game, to say the least. But as we said, it's hard to get a feel for what kind of a game it is in this building, which is near comatose.
It is amazing when you look around and see it is nearly sold out. If it's not, it's very close. And is this the quietest building in the league, do you think?
Definitely.
This is certainly Chicago Stadium is the top, and we'll put the Pacific Coliseum 21st. This is a 180-degree opposite feel from the electricity that you get in Chicago Stadium. Now the play into the Canucks zone. Larmer on the far side takes a look, centered in, deflected just wide. Then Roenick goes crashing into the net and knocks it loose to the whistle sound.
The Blackhawks coming out of their end with ease. They had time and got it out perfectly. Mike Hudson playing with Roenick and Larmer. The feed from Larmer up front. Roenick crashed into the net as he's yanked down from behind by Doug Lidster. 4 minutes and 54 seconds to go. 16 shots for the Canucks, 13 for the Blackhawks.
Michel Goulet is now on the left side with Creighton and Graham. And he's had a couple of shifts with Adam Creighton in this particular in the second period.
Trying to get some offense together here. It looks to me like Roenick, Larmer, and Goulet don't score. They have difficulty putting it in the net, this whole team, so he's trying to maybe share the wealth a bit.
Now it's cleared behind the Canuck goal, then over to the far side, and out comes Murphy. Rob Murphy dumping it in, hoping for Rodnick, but a good read by Belfour to come out of the net, cleared to the corner. Back of the net it goes. Now Wilson jammed it loose to McGill. And Bob McGill works his way to center ice. Bumped off the play there. And now the Hawks come in offside. Well, in our second intermission tonight on television, an update on the progress of the Indianapolis Ice. Our end of the month Indy report, and that team is really faring very well. Mike Keenan went down and saw him play the other night and came back awfully impressed. And when I asked him who played well, he just about ran through the entire roster.
Well, Brian Noonan has really come on after sitting out in the first part of the year, going home and coming back. In 30 games, he's got about 60 points.
4 minutes left here in the middle period. Still 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. Trevor Linden carries it over the Chicago line. Linden in on Manson, who forces him to turn along the boards. Now he drops it back to Lume. Well covered by Presley, and Wayne Presley, a good defensive job for Chicago, taking Lume right off the puck. He's separating, but the play continues. Here's the centering pass stolen by Thomas. And Steve Thomas lifts it out to center ice. Conroy bounces it back into the Canuck zone. Murray to the corner. A bump from Lume, but he held the puck. Now they jam up along the board. And it's held there long enough for a whistle.
Good shift for Lume. He starts off in the corner behind his own, the Blackhawk net, in the battle with Presley. Presley, good defensive play there to pick him up. And then Lume comes all the way back and makes the defensive play in his own zone in the very far corner in his own end.
In Finland, if they name you Yerky, does that mean you're a nice guy or not?
That means probably John over there, I would think. Is that like beef jerky? Maybe he's a real tough guy. Who knows? But he's a very good hockey player, and it's a good acquisition from the Montreal Canadiens late last year. I think in 11 games he had 10 points for the Vancouver Canucks. 3 goals and 7 assists. This year he leads their defensive scoring, and he gets a lot of ice time. Very good shift there.
Off to the right of Gamble, and the draw over to the far side. Curvers bounce it not out. Here's Lemieux, a shot, and it's saved by Gamble. Rebound to Vancouver, and it's cleared back into the center ice area. Chelios dumping it right back in. Taken by Peter Nedved, puts it around the board. Stern hacked at it, couldn't get it by Yanni. Boards, and Stern kicks it loose behind the net. Taken by Lidster. He sends it up the middle, deflects to Adams, a 2-on-1. Adams in over the line. He cuts for the net. Shooting. He shot it just wide of the far post. Rebound controlled by Gilbert. He gets back to center where Lemieux will send it in.
looked like he wanted to make a play in a 2-on-1 situation. Treniani plays it perfectly, stays right in the middle, eliminates the pass, so Belfour plays the shooter. And Adams waited too long, put himself at a sharp angle, and missed the net by a foot on the far side. He had the right idea as far as his shot location, but he just didn't execute. Gianni stayed right in the middle, played it perfectly, and forced him to shoot, and the goaltender plays the shooter in that situation. And Adams put himself too deep.
Now Nordmark in his own end, couldn't get it out. Wilson along shot, tipped, deflected just wide by Roenick. There's going to be a Canuck penalty. And now the whistle sounds, and Jeremy Roenick narrowly missing on a deflection.
Well, I think he's going to call a penalty on Roenick. Unbelievable call. This is going to be, Roenick is going for a deflection on a Doug Wilson shot. At the top of the crease, he bumps in, and now a McDermott call is going to be called on McGill. But Boharski is really, that was just a brutal call. Roenick can't believe it. He's going to the net to deflect the shot. Inadvertently bumps into Troy Gamble. He still got the shot away. He didn't hit Gamble before the shot got there, and he calls an interference call. Put in a wake-up call.
To number 25 of Bob McGill, a 10-minute misconduct.
He wasn't even in the goal crease either, I don't believe, Roenick.
Oh, what's he do? He went to deflect the Doug Wilson shot, deflected it, and the interference call is going to be called on Roy. He can't believe it, and neither can I.
17:43, a gift power play given to the Canucks. And
this will be their 7th of the night.
we had one replay where it didn't look to me as if Roenick even hit the goaltender Gamble. If he did, and Gamble was in the goal crease, then maybe the Canucks have a beat. But it did not appear that either of those situations is what happened. It looked like Roenick was outside the crease, and it looked to me like he did not hit the goaltender either.
So Roenick is going to the front of the net for a shot. He deflects the shot. Wilson gloves it, puts it down, lets it go. Roenick cuts in front, deflects it. Gamble goes down on his own, trying to block the shot. Roenick never touched it.
And it was outside the crease besides that.
How's he doing? 0 for 3 in that one.
That's a trifecta there. Well, now the Canucks down the power play. Late in the second, an opportunity to get the equalizer. Let's see if the Hawks can come up with another good penalty-killing effort. Here comes Linden. He dumps it in. Farmer circles the net. On his backhand, he clears it. Now Doug Lidster sends it out to center ice. Larionov rolled it to Adams over the line. Adams tied up by Chelios along the board. And Larionov dug it out. Deep slot to Curtis up over his stick. And back into the Canucks zone. Minute and a half left in the period. Here comes Adams. He steps around Wilson, but Chelios then cut him off. Drills him into the sideboard. And it's held in by Lidster to Kervers at the near point. Back to Lidster. His shot is blocked by Gilbert. He cleared it to center. Murray racing. Might be a 2-on-1. He got Chelios coming. Murray cuts for the net. A diving stop. Rebound. And a save by Gamble. He made a diving poke check on Murray. Then Chelios looked to have a great opportunity for a shorty. And somehow Gamble made a sprawling stop. And now the Canucks start back with a penalty to be called as Larionov knocked down Greg Gilbert. And that takes care of the Vancouver power play.
Chelios can't believe he didn't score, and that's the way it's been going as far as goal production for Chris Chelios. Cut up with the play beautifully as Troy Murray streaked down the left side, taking away from Lidster at the point. Lidster had to dump by him. Troy Murray reads it, picks it up. Chelios just streaks up the ice, takes a look over his shoulder. Troy Murray tries to go in, poked by Gamble. Gamble's down, and Chelios just couldn't put it over him. And then as Gilbert continued on with the puck, pulled down by Lidster. Good dive by Gilbert. Gilbert just clearly took a dive, and Lidster goes to the penalty box with 36 seconds still remaining on Roenick's penalty. The Blackhawks successfully kill off the 7th Canuck power play of the night.
Chicago power play. There's the draw, and Diddick trying to clear it. The Hawks are back in offside. And Vancouver, what did you say, 6 power plays? They have 7. They have a total of 16 shots in the game.
I can't remember the last time they had a shot on goal. They haven't had a shot forever. I mean, they had a few shots early in this period.
A couple good chances where they missed the net. Adams just a moment ago on the 2-on-1, but shot it wide. There are only 5 teams in the NHL that have scored fewer goals than the Vancouver squad. And they're having a difficult time tonight so far. Here's the draw. Taken by Lume. He got it to Cron, up over his stick into the Hawk zone. Now Larmer takes over, leading Conroy, who works his way to center, and he'll shoot it in. Taken by Lume. Now the Hawk penalty's over. Power play for Chicago, but only 12 seconds left in the period. Here comes Cron for Vancouver. He gets over the Hawk line, shooting, and he shot it just wide. Rebound, and Cron hacks it through the goal crease. And now the Hawks clear it to center. Larmer's going to run out of time as he streaks into the zone. They horn sounds, and the second period comes to an end. A period in which the Blackhawks had just 5 shots on goal, but the Canucks had only 7, and 16-14 is the Vancouver edge. It shot through 40 minutes. The scoreless second period leaves the game the way it was after one. Organization for the support that they've shown to the people taking part in Operation Desert Storm. He wrote a very nice letter to Mike Keenan, so Keenan and Sutter wearing those lapel pins, and hopefully the word will get back to Lieutenant Commander Matt Buddy Storr that his pins got through the mail and were well received, and the Blackhawk brass happy to know that their acknowledgments have been received over by the brave people in the Persian Gulf. Here we go with the third period. Igor Larionov for Vancouver in a penalty-killing role, trying to play keep away at center. He does. Give it to Lume in his own end, and he clears it. And now there's half a minute left on a Chicago power play. Here's Doug Wilson shooting it in. Cleared around to the near side. Goulet in the corner. Put it to Roenick. He walks in front center. Oh, it hit the skate. And now Linden picks it up. And Trevor Linden waits for the traffic to clear. Now steps over the Hawk line. Linden to the near side. And Chelios finally took it away from him. Now it's shot to center. And the Canucks break up that rush. It's cleared back into the Hawk zone as the Vancouver penalty expires. Both teams are back at full strength. Steve Thomas dumping it into the Canucks zone. Ronnie Stern. Oh, here's a game of right to Thomas. Now it's cleared, and Tony Murray got hit right in the face. A clearing effort from the Canucks. Came right up and hit Troy Murray, and he has been cut badly. And he is really, he's got a problem on the far side, and they're waving Gatsky over there in a hurry. Troy Murray got hit right in the face with a clearing effort.
And he's in a lot of trouble. He's bleeding profusely from the mouth, and he's having a hard time catching his breath. Looks like they've got to get the ambulance people.
They're calling for the doctor. They're trying to get the ambulance paramedics here out to the ice in a hurry. The Vancouver trainers come out now. The Vancouver doctor being helped out onto the ice, and here comes the stretcher, and they're getting some assistance to hustle across the ice. Troy Murray having difficulty, as you said, catching his breath, and it was tough to see where that hit him. I'm not sure if it got him. I don't even want to guess where it got him, but he was bleeding profusely and seemed to have a tough time regaining his breath.
I wonder if he got hit in the throat and maybe some internal bleeding because he couldn't seem to catch his breath, and the blood was just gushing out of his mouth and nose. Luckily, both trainers got out there, and so did the Vancouver doctor, and the paramedics are out there now as well. Every building has got an ambulance and a paramedic at their disposal with both teams, and everybody out there in a hurry to help Troy Murray in a very, very touchy situation.
Well, we thought this place was quiet before. It is dead silent now, and everybody just watching and waiting and hoping that Troy Murray will be able to come through this without any serious damage done, as difficult to see as the trainers and doctors have surrounded him in the area.
Well, Adams just clearly hit him right in the face. Down he went. He was angled off by Thomas, and the puck hit Troy Murray right in the face. Went over him in the mouth and the throat. He went down in the heap, and he was bleeding. He was just gushing out. And he couldn't catch his breath. He was in a lot of agony and distress.
All right, a face-off outside the Canuck line early in the third. Chicago still leading 1-0. And here's the draw. Shot back to the Canuck goal. Diddick put it around the boards, held it by Roenick. He shoots, and a save by Gamble. Rebound loose in the near circle. Roenick has Larmer, and Larmer ripped one up off the glass. Now it's cleared back to the neutral zone. Taken by Conroy. He steps to the line. Has Larmer breaking. Gave it to him. Oh, the pass slightly behind him, though. And Larmer now got it to the line in Roenick. Near circle to Goulet. He got it back to Conroy, and he couldn't quite hold it in. Says Randy Mitton, so the whistle sounds for the offside call.
Good shot by Roenick. The rebound.
The first word that we're getting on Troy Murray is that he cut his tongue. Oh, man, that's just, can't imagine a more painful mouth injury, but the puck came up and apparently hit his bridge, and they're saying that he might have swallowed his bridge. This is a very preliminary report. He swallowed his bridge and that he cut his tongue. So that's the first word that we have on the injury to Troy Murray. Looked as if he, when he was taken off the ice, had been able to settle down a little. Here's Linda going down. It's stolen by Lemieux with a shot and a save by Gamble. Rebound cleared back into the Hawk zone. We're likely to get some further updates on Troy Murray, so obviously we'll pass those along when we can. Here comes the play now to center. Lemieux 3-on-3 and over the line. Comes around and check, trying to center one. It deflects to Graham, who shoots, and a save by Gamble. Rebound to the far corner. Cron jammed it loose behind the goal to Lidster. Doug Lidster couldn't get it out. Wilson, though, had it poke check back to center. And now the Hawks shoot it back into the Vancouver zone.
Jocelyn Lemieux fills in at center to fill in for Troy Murray with Graham and Thomas, and does a good job in the first shift and gets a good scoring chance.
Here's David Manson. Troy Murray, so obviously we'll pass those along when we can. Here comes the play now to center. Lemieux 3-on-3 and over the line. Comes around and check, trying to center one. It deflects to Graham, who shoots, and a save by Gamble. Rebound to the far corner. Cron jammed it loose behind the goal to Lidster. Doug Lidster couldn't get it out. Wilson, though, had it poke check back to center. And now the Hawks shoot it back into the Vancouver zone.
Jocelyn Lemieux fills in at center to fill in for Troy Murray with Graham and Thomas, and does a good job in the first shift and gets a good scoring chance.
Here's David Manson. Back into the Canucks zone. His long shot breaks the stick of Butcher. Winds up behind the net on the stick of Lume, who got it back into the Chicago end. And this is going to be an icing call against Vancouver. We're still early in the third period, and it's still Chicago 1.
Towards the net that just snapped the blade of guard Butcher's stick right out of his hand. Manson with 8 goals and 7 assists. Showing the ability to score from long range with that howitzer of his.
Presley bangs it into the Canuck zone. Garth Butcher on the near side. Tied up. Gilbert stole it. Tries to center it. Hit Larionov. Winds up behind the net. Hudson jams away for it there. Now Presley able to dig it out of the corner. But Lume stepped into him. And Jay Mazur slides it back into the Chicago zone. way, this is going to be called an icing violation against the Blackhawks.
Now Belfour with a good read declared to Presley. Presley turned and fired in one motion, trying to put it on net to go for a change. But nevertheless, it's still a decent play on the road when you're up 1-0. Really not many scoring chances either end. You might as well play it very conservatively and hope that Belfour can continue to excel in the net as he has. Well, he didn't have as much work in the second period as he did early in the first period. Only 16 shots on goal. It's been a long time since the Vancouver Canucks have had a shot on goal. They had their 16th shot early in the second period.
So the face-off will be to the right of Belfour. Friday night will be in Edmonton. Blackhawks against the defending champion Oilers. 8:20 with a radio pregame, 8:30 on Sports Channel. Now the plays behind the Hawk net. Harold Diddick trying to jam it loose, put it to the line along shot. Save by Belfour. A great save on Stan Smeel, but better yet, he gave no rebound with Greg Adams right there.
Well, Diddick, the defenseman coming in, pinching in, forcing the play. Got the puck out to Smeel. Smeel took the point. Diddick playing the left point. Smeel right there. Let it rock from the point, and Belfour, good reaction. Late reaction, picked it up, and with Adams right there, he covered up. And Belfour's been sharp the entire game. With a great save early, and has been as ready as ever tonight. Not only the second shot on goal for Vancouver in this period, only 18th of the game, but there have been some good ones.
Now it's cleared to the neutral zone. Taken by Thomas. Got it to Creighton over the line. Adam Creighton against Stan Smeel to the corner. Now Jocelyn there. Thomas jammed it loose. And on the near side, it's corralled by the Canucks. Peter Nedved, his pass deflected. Manson with a good read right in the passing lane. Deflected the pass over the glass and into the crowd. And you touched on it early, but Dave Manson having a strong game today for Chicago.
He's had a terrific night. Defensively, he's been excellent. Played in control, moved the puck well, stayed back, and rushed a few times. Picked his spots, and he's made good defensive plays. He's been standing up at the line, and that was an excellent read. Rink-wide pass by Nedved, read by Manson, and got the one hand on the stick, reached out and poked it into the seats to break up a potentially dangerous run.
500 fans more than the average on hand here tonight. Here's a scramble around the Hawk net. And Belfour at the side of the goal will cover it up as the Canucks try to swarm the goal, and a jam attempt by Cron was stopped.
And Trevor Linden and Jeremy Roenick having quite a battle along the far board. Puck eventually squirted around the boards and came out to the side of the net. And Belfour was able to make sure he had his foot up against the post, right where he's supposed to be, and then with some help from his mates, he was able to recover the loose puck.
15,570 here tonight. 500 more than they've averaged this year. Here's the play out to center ice. Robert Cron able to bang it back into the Hawk zone, but not for long as Belfour sweeps it to center, and the Canucks are back in offside. 5 minutes have gone by here in the third period. Chicago leads Vancouver 1-0.
Steve will benefit the March of Dimes Birth Defects Foundation. It's at the Hotel Nico and on Sports Channel right after the Notre Dame DePaul game on Wednesday, February 20th. Buy a ticket or a table now. Call the March of Dimes at 312-407-4000.
14 of them have been sellouts. LA and Montreal are the top two draws on the road.
With the Rangers up there also, but the league-leading Blackhawks drawing plenty of attention away from home as well this season. As Hudson moves in deep into the Canucks zone, but had it taken away in Curvers. Shot it to center ice. Now Hudson Lifted back into the Canuck end. Doug Lidster a quick turn, got rid of Graham and sends it back into the neutral area. Where Kellio scoops it in. Doug Lidster. To Igor Larionov. Now a long feed off the stick of Murphy at center. And Major attempts to carry on, but Wilson stops him nicely at the Hawk line. And is cleared to the far side where Lume moves in offside.
Well, Lume's been one of the bright lights tonight for Vancouver. I don't know how he's played most of the year, but 2 games we've seen him, both times he's been one of their best players. And all over. Offensively and defensively, he seems to be covering a lot of ground tonight. Lume, originally drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, came over late in the trade last year. Lume, Larionov, Nedved.
And the Canucks, if they can ever get a young Soviet to come over, might really have something. A kid named Pavel Bure, who a lot of people think was the best player in the recent World Junior Championship. He's Vancouver property. They've drafted him, a young Soviet, who everybody says is going to be an electrifying player if he ever comes over here. Here's Goulet with an excellent defensive play in the Hawk zone. Clearing it out to center. Now controlled by Stan Smil. He shoots it in. Taken by Manson. Lifts it to the near side. Smil picked it off. He got it to Nedved, whose feet hit the skate, and Adam Creighton has shot it into the Canuck bench. We have 13 minutes left in the third period.
Are they LA Canucks fans or what did I don't understand that? Is it a Black Canucks fan?
I don't really care. It can be whoever's fan they want to be. Now the play in the Canucks zone. Dinnick having a problem and finally shot it into the crowd. He tried to stick handle through 2 Chicago players, and Gerald Dinnick nearly got into some difficulty but managed to flip it into the seat.
Dinnick was the first-round pick to the New York Islanders, was traded last year to the Montreal Canadiens for Ludwig, and recently acquired by the Vancouver Canucks.
He cut his Montreal stay short when he got upset with the coach over there, Pat Burns, who sat him out for a game. And Dinnick then proceeded to walk out, and Pat Burns said it's going to be him or me. He'll never play another game with the Montreal organization. So you can see who won that particular battle. Gerald Dinnick is now here in Vancouver. Here's Gino Logic shooting a save on Belfort. Rebound to Roenick. And Roenick beats Larmer, who rolled it out to center ice. Taken by the Canucks, Robert Nordmark. Clearing it to the near side in Franz. Robert Franz beats Trevor Linden. And he dragged the puck behind him. It results in an offside call against the Canucks.
Well, Linden a couple of times tonight has mishandled it at the blue line, forcing outside. That time he put himself outside. We talked about Gino Logic with his penalty minutes and his toughness. He was called up just before the Blackhawks game the last time here in November, and he's added 6 goals. And he's had a couple of scoring chances tonight. He's been as good a player on the ice for Vancouver as anybody. Well, he's not that skilled for a so-called tough guy.
Dave Manson shoots it into the Canucks zone. Tom Kerber puts it around the board. It deflects out to center. Here comes Stern, and a great play by Manson again, getting in the passing lane, breaking up the rush for the Canucks. And that might have been an odd man rush if Manson does make a nice play. Now in his own end, Manson bangs it back to the Canucks line. And a 2-line pass from Kerber to Murphy draws a whistle.
I think this is as good a game as Dave Manson has played. He's really been terrific. He's breaking up every play, he's carrying the puck, moving it, doing everything right tonight. He and Stern have words after a collision in the neutral zone after Manson broke up a nice rush and then collided with Stern. Then another one of the tough players McGill got a 10-minute misconduct in the middle part of the second period, so Manson getting a lot of ice time and really having a terrific night.
In the Vancouver zone, but on the single, Lister, who tries a quick feed to Nedved. He couldn't find the handle on it. Slides the length. It'll be icing against Vancouver.
That was the right idea. The click was the break for Nedved after Chelios broke up the play in the neutral zone and continued on deep into the Vancouver zone. Nedved, that clear sailing, a quick turnaround play by Lister and just too far ahead of him.
Broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Channel and WBBM Radio solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this game without the consent of Sports Channel and WBBM is prohibited. 11.5 left in the third period. Still 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. In the Canucks zone, here's Hudson out of the corner trying to muscle in front. Poke check by Gamble. The puck came loose to Smill. And Smill cleared it to center ice. Presley, a quick turn there. Steps back over the Canuck line. Trying to beat a check. Now he beats. Creighton a shot. Gamble. Big save. What a rush by Presley up the ice. And he made a nice setup to Adam Creighton. Now back come the Canucks as they dump it in. Coming to the near side, Adam. He collides with Hudson in the corner. A couple of others join in. Mill trying to bang it out of there. He does, but right to Manson. And Dave Manson clearing it out to center where Presley will get it into the Canucks zone as the Hawks need a change. Garth Butcher starts the Canucks back. He shot it to the neutral zone. Goulet picks it out of midair there. Feeds Larmer over the line. He got it to Goulet. Then it was chopped away to McGill, who lets it go. And a save by Gamble. Rebound to Cry. He feeds Linden. Linden with Sandlak over the line. Gave it to Sandlak moving and shooting. Belfort comes to rebound. Belfort! What a save on Butcher! And the puck loose to the near corner where Goulet fires it out to center ice. And Belfort's had some spectacular work tonight, but he just made his best sequence to save right there to keep the Hawks in front. Now Linden deep in his own end. Able to clear it to center ice. Greg Gilbert puts it back in. Now on the far side, Linden can't get it out. Here's Gilbert behind and at the wraparound. It rolled off the end of his stick. And now Sandlak picks it up. Gave it to Cron in against Yanni. Robert Cron to the near side, stopping. And coming across was Lemieux. He took a big hit, but he made a good play, Lemieux did. And now it's cleared back into the Vancouver zone. Halfway through the third period. Still 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. And now an icing call is coming up against Vancouver. The crowd doesn't like it. The Blackhawks still have the lead, 1-0.
Belfort has had not a lot of work in the last few periods, but terrific work. Loses the puck on a save from Sandlak, and then Butcher had him down, and somehow Belfort was able to prevent it from going across the line and deflected to his left and into the corner. Belfort's been sharp all night long.
Now the play in the Canucks zone. Thomas in the corner takes a look, leaves it there for Creighton. He had it knocked off his stick, and Nordmark now flips it out to center ice. Larionov got it back to the Chicago goal, taken by Dave Manson. Manson banks it to Creighton, who deflects it to the Canucks zone. Gerald Diddick starts Vancouver back. Diddick, pass too hot to handle for Major, and then Larmer able to sweep it to center ice. Now Dave Manson shooting it in. Stern on right wing. Took a nice hit from Roenick, but cleared it to Larionov. In over the Hawk line. Goulet took it away to Larmer. And he shot it to the center ice area. Now the Canucks dump it in. Bob McGill carrying it to the far side, and A whistle on the play. A hand pass ruled here by Don Koharski. And our update on Troy Murray, who, when you joined us late, got injured early in this period. A clearing effort in the Canucks zone came up, hit him right in the face, in the mouth. And he did swallow his bridge. He is cut his tongue. He was bleeding profusely at the time. They managed to stem the flow of blood before they took him off the ice, and he has now been taken to the hospital for precautionary measures. So hopefully no more serious damage than that. I'd be worried about that bridge. Eventually, when he flies, he apparently swallowed that.
A permanent bridge that fell out or something, because I've never heard of a hockey player that has had that type of situation wear one in a game.
Here's Ronnie Stern over the Hawk line, left it for Nedved. Peter Nedved tries to center, his a chance to shot. Big save by Belfour. Curvers was right in, had him to himself, and then Belfour shuts the door.
Well, no one paying attention to the late guy. Curvers saw the opening, went through the middle. Everyone collapsed. Paid it to the 3 Hawk players skiing on the player with the puck Nedved, and Curvers left alone, snuck in and snapped it right into the midsection of Belfour, and he left no rebound. That's Belfour with a brilliant save. So the Hawks didn't pay attention to the point man, the late guy Curvers. It took the Canucks a long time to get their first shot on goal, but they've had some dandy chances of late. And that was their 8th shot, and 4 or 5 of them have been quality chances.
Van Thaler here because the scoreboard tells him to.
Well, at least they do what they're told.
Face off to the left of Belfour. 1-0 in favor of Chicago. Now the draw to Mike Hudson. Couldn't get it out. And the puck now bouncing over the glass into the crowd. Hawks lead Vancouver 1-0. Vancouver trying to find a way to get the equalizer. They've generated plenty of good chances here in the 3rd period, but at Belfour thus far able to rise to the occasion again. Now the draw, and Hudson clears it to center, and Thomas gets the line. Now cranks it up, shooting, and it's a flex off Litzer's stick up over the up on the glass. Now back to the net goes Creighton, digging it out. Adam Creighton bumped in the near corner, and finally the puck came loose to the Canucks, and Kron looking for Sandlak on right wing. He barrels over the line against Hudson. Mike Hudson cut across and knocked it off his stick and clears to the neutral zone. Doug Lidster dumps it in. Mike Peluso, his first shift in this period, probably the first since midway in the 2nd period anyway, and now Peluso gets the center, dumping it into the Canuck zone. Shot quickly back to center ice. There's Gary Bach over the Hawk line, taken off the play by McGill. And Doug Wilson starts Chicago back. Wilson shooting it in. Taken by Lume. Clearing it out to center ice. Now the Canucks, Garth Butcher. Puts it ahead. Here's Gary Bach has a chance, running for the net. Bach drops it in front. Here's Lume. He shot it wide. Rebound behind the net. Major. Jay Major to the line. Lume. Lume along. Big shot and a save by Belfour. He's going to hang on.
All right, Lume did the right thing. He had the right shot, moved in. The Hawks twice now in the last couple of minutes. Not paying attention to the defenseman coming late. Curvers robbed by Belfour in the last shift, and Lume sneaks in and had Belfour to his mercy and shot it wide. Good hustle by Fox. Hook moves to the middle, loses it. Lume comes in, moves to his right, shoots back to his left, just missed the far post by an inch or two.
Down to 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. 1-0 in favor of the Hawks on Steve Larmer's power play goal midway through the 1st. off to the right of Belfour. Roenick at net bench for the draw, which is controlled by Goulet. He clears the center, and Kerber fires it right back in. On the far side, cleared back into the Canucks zone. Tom Kerber circles the net, now trying to beat two players. He lost it. Roenick is in alone. He shoots, and a save by Gamble. Rebound to the net. Knocked off the mooring, says Don Koharski. Boy, oh boy, it looks like it never did come off the magnets, and the Blackhawks lose a great scoring chance because of what looked like a quick whistle.
Well, Kerber's stick handling in his own zone, had it stripped away by Roenick, and Roenick didn't see Goulet. Speaking in behind him, a drop pass to Goulet, and Goulet had a good angle, but pretty tough play for Roenick. He picks it up after stripping it away from Kerber. Takes a look at the net, doesn't see Goulet open behind him, but good job by Gamble. And then the puck did squirt out to a dangerous Larmer in front, and they ruled the net was knocked off, but Goulet coming in late. Roenick never saw him. Gamble shuts the door. Well, they ruled that the net ruled off the moorings with the puck going to Larmer was coming in ready to tee one up. And Gamble, that little work in the middle part of this period, makes a key save to keep it a 1-0 game.
Now the draw taken by Doug Lidster. Lidster shooting it in. Goulet back. He couldn't get it out. Linden had it poke checked, and Cron kept it in, but it's taken back by Chelios, and he bounces it out to center ice. Robert Cron rolls it ahead to right to Chelios. And he banks it off the glass back the other way, and it's going to be an icing call against Chicago. We're down to 5 minutes left to go in the third. 1-0 in favor of the Hawks.
Third period, a 1-0 Blacklock lead. And Hawks are getting a lot of help from Ed Belfour in this third period and in the first period.
Here's Dave Manson carrying to the neutral zone, where Hudson rolls it in. Lidster lifts it to Rob Murphy on the near side. He couldn't get it out. Conroy along shot and a save by Gamble. Rebound Lidster. Lidster shoots it, hoping for Smill, but a good read by Belfour again coming out of the net, and he got it himself the other way. Gray racing in there. Murphy managed to tie him up, though. And now the Canucks dump it back into the Hawks' zone. Now shots into Vancouver territory. On the far side, Peluso held it in. Now a chance for Creighton, and he shot it just wide of the far post. Clear to the line, and Bob McGill is attempting to hold it in, but Gerard Gauthier right there says that he did. Now Butcher and Peluso have words, and they back off as the linesmen get in, and nobody wants to do anything foolish at this point with a one-goal hockey game.
Well, Butch, 155 minutes of penalties. 4 straight years he's had over 200 minutes. And the first rounder of this tough stay-at-home defenseman, and he and Peluso glare at each other. Brad and Creighton missed from the deep slot. Trying to go to the glove side. Just shot it wide. I believe he was hooked at the last second. Forced him to miss the net.
Shoot it in. On the far side, McGill swings it around the boards. Creighton and Butcher come together. And then Wilson comes up with a long feed to the stick of Thomas. He steps to the line, shooting right on, and a save by Gamble. And he hangs on, and that's what the Hawks would like to see Steve Thomas get incorporated into his game. What he does best, get the puck, and when he has any room, rip it.
Just inside the blue line, and certainly with a goaltender with the net extended a foot out, just let it rip. He can score from there. He's got good speed, good strength. He just breaks in on the off wing. Good outlet pass. Creighton took a hit to get it to Wilson. Wilson diagonal pass right on the money, catching Thomas on the off wing. He cranked it up. Almost surprised Gamble. Quick seems like Gamble closing the door. Keeping it a 1-0 game. Knox are sharp here. They're going to get a few odd man breaks in the last 3.5 minutes. They're able to be strong defensively and counter because the Canucks are going to start to take some chances.
Face off to the left of Gamble, who did not appear in any National Hockey League games last season. He spent the entire year in Milwaukee. And a decent season for them, a goals against just over 4. And Kirk McLean's been somewhat inconsistent lately for the Canucks, and looking as if Gamble might be their man down the stretch. Here's Roenick trying to cut for the net. He had it poked away. Larmer on the near side. His pass over by Stern. And now Diddick starts back. He cleared it to Nedved over the line, trying to feather it in front of bouncing puck right through the slot. And Stern couldn't get any wood on it. And cleared to the far side where Larmer, he's able to clear it back into the Canucks zone. Down to 3 minutes left to go in regulation time. 1-0 Hawks. Now in the Canucks zone. Diddick behind the net. Put it to the near side. Graham's there. Shot it to the corner. Jocelyn Lemieux trying to work it loose. Lemieux took a hack from Nedved. Now got help into the corner. Lemieux and Nedved crack together again. Now Gilbert in there after it. And a centering pass to Fleck. And the Canucks start away. Greg Adams. He'll shoot it in. And Trent Yonny able to get it to Gilbert. Gilbert clearing it to the Vancouver line. Taken by Lume with 2 minutes to go. Now Linden over the Hawk line. Chelios cut him off on the board. Creighton took it away. Nice play to Chelios. And Chelios works his way back to center. Dumps it in, hoping for Thomas. And Gamble with a good read. Sweeps it away from him. Here comes Robert Cron. Cron gets it over the Hawk line. Cron stops to the near side. He got it to Curvers, but his pass hits the skate. Wilson comes up with it and sends it back into the Canucks zone. 1.5 minutes left. Now Lume for Vancouver. Gave it to Curvers, who tries to return pass to a man who was completely covered in the Hawks steal and dump it in. John Curvers, long feet, missing Gary Voss, sliding back into the Chicago zone. Bob McGill put it around the board, held in now by Larionov. Carrying it in behind the net. Major had it knocked away by Roenick. Wilson picks it up, and we're down to the final minute of the third period. Here's Larmer, and Larmer was called offside with a 2-line pass, and the Hawks are screaming about that, and they should be, but it's 1-0 Chicago.
He doesn't want to advance it so that Manson or Conway could get to it, so he tried to tie up Hudson. Now Major's got to go in.
Here is the draw, and it came free back to center ice. Taken by Curvers. Sends it ahead. Here's Cron over the line. Manson picked his pocket. He banks it back into the Canucks zone. And it's going to be icing call here against Chicago. As Hudson raced after trying to save icing, but Curvers touched it first. And now Gamble does look as if he's coming off. And with the face-off deep in the Hawk zone, the Canucks will go with 6 attackers and 43 seconds are left.
Another good play by Dave Manson. He's been brilliant tonight. He just broke up. Curvers did a nice pass up the middle, but Manson was right there, knocked the Canuck player off the puck, and then banked it off the side boards. And got a little too much of it. The puck went the length of the ice, and now it's faced off deep in the Hawk zone. Hawks was successful in the last attempt. Trevor Linden was thrown out of that last face-off and he tried to tie up Hudson. Major came in and the Hawks were able to poke it into the neutral zone.
And now Mike Keenan wants his time out, it looks like. Well, the Blackhawks circle the wagons defensively here with a face-off in their end in 43 seconds. Separating Chicago from a victory and a good start to the road trip. Hawks looking for their 34th win. Coming into the action tonight, Chicago leading the league, but Boston has crept to within 4 points of the Blackhawks. They had 66 points prior to the start of this game. By the way, they mentioned the Red Wings lost again tonight. Detroit now is 3 games below 500, but the sidebar to that game, the long-awaited rematch of heavyweights Troy Crowder and Bob Probert. I saw a little piece of tape before this game where those two tangled twice, and Troy Crowder appeared to be victorious in both altercations. Crowder, with 1 minute of ice time in that game, had been kicked out. And certainly had only one thing in mind. But the matter at hand, 6 attackers on for Vancouver. 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. 43 seconds to go. Roenick and Linden to the left of Belfour. Now the draw taken by Herbert. He lets it go. It did get through Strickland. Reason went. Larmer hammers it around the board. It'll be icing when Lister touches it. He does with 31 seconds left.
Here's the situation. Jeremy Roenick going to his forehand against Linden, who's going to pull it to his backhand. Advantage Linden. He's going to his strength. And Roenick trying to go to his forehand. And won cleanly by Linden. Lister back to Curvers. Curvers takes it up. It might have gone wide, but Belfour had to play it. And Linden stuffed it just wide of the net. Larmer picked it up and fired it around the board. So now Hudson comes out, a left-handed centerman that's going to try and pull it back to his backhand. What to do is tie up Linden here.
Linden wins it again, though, to Curvers. His shot deflects, and it's hacked free to the far side. Larmer picks it up. Larmer got to center where he was tied up there nicely by Curvers, preventing an empty netter. The Canucks dump it in. Back to the net, Wilson chipped it into the corner. Major there, put it in behind. Wilson has it again. He shot it to the near side. Curvers keeps it in 10 seconds. Big scramble in the deep slot. Puck came free to the near side. Gilbert cleared it not out. Major kept it in. They hammer away on the board. Brown dug it out. Collin runs out, and the Hawks win. And Ed Belfour has recorded his 3rd shutout of the year, and he was spectacular as often as not in doing so. And the Hawks start off their 2nd long road trip of the year in fine fashion. It may not be the prettiest win they've ever picked up, but an efficient victory backstop by Ed Belfour, NHL's leading goaltender, achieving tonight his 31st win of the year.